Hello human beings, it's Sylvia Kuchena from Horizon Mental Health Clinic. Today we will be talking about one of the topics that you have asked me actually to cover, and the topic is how to love yourself again. This is very deep. There have been times when I have covered some of this already. You can go back to my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page. I'm sure if you scroll down there will be some of the love yourself, why self-care is so important. So everything kind of fits into the how to love yourself again. But today I will be actually expanding this topic a little bit more because number one is very important. It's one of my favorite subjects probably. How do you treat yourself? How is your own relationship? How you feel about yourself? It's really your whole self-concept really affects how you see the world and how you see yourself in the world, and it impacts your happiness as well. Even though happiness is a mindset, but you also, when you're not really feeling good about yourself and when you don't love yourself, then it's going to be really hard for you to be happy and to be in that mindset of I'm good, life is good, I'm happy, so regardless of what's going on, I can still be happy. So let's start from the beginning. What I have noticed when people don't really have a good relationship with themselves, when they don't treat themselves good, what I have noticed is that usually they avoid themselves. So now you can ask yourself, is that you? Are you avoiding yourself? Are you running away from yourself? Are you running away from your emotions? If so, then my advice is to slow down and really stay with yourself and spend some time with yourself, by yourself, alone. And this is not about being lonely or distracting yourself, because you can spend all day by yourself and feel very unhappy and feel very lonely. This is not exactly what I mean when I say that you should spend some time by yourself. It's more about the quality time, how you're going to treat yourself with your own company. How are you going to feel in your own company? So this is very important. So not distracting yourself with video games or watching whatever, and that's gonna put you down, and you're really noticing, and it's triggering you. It's triggering the feeling of loneliness. That's not what I mean when I say that spending time by yourself, quality time. So that could be like a self-care thing. Really start thinking, like, allow yourself to feel your emotions. Like, what are you feeling when you're by yourself? You can journal about this. You can really ask yourself what is happening. You could meditate. Make yourself a coffee and maybe have a cake, but enjoy that moment. Enjoy the first sip of your coffee. Enjoy the smell of the coffee. Allow this to fulfill you rather than thinking. And so then you will be learning yourself, like you will be teaching yourself how to maybe not control, but I'm gonna use the control word. How to control your own mind rather than you thinking of a negative way of, oh, I'm here again by myself, drinking this coffee again by myself, no one to talk to, no one to share this experience with. You could then pull back yourself a little bit and say, okay, I can have a coffee. I can afford to have a coffee. This coffee smells divine. I really like the cake. I'm so glad I can have this moment just for myself and no one is distracting me, when I can really hear my own thoughts. Do you see the difference between the first example and the second? So it's really how you spend the quality time and how you are going to create the quality time. Because spending time with yourself, it can be a task, it can be an art. So don't see it as a negative thing. Go there and be there more with yourself and feel the gratitude, because many usually don't. You're very welcome, Jerry. You know this is for you. Many usually think that, oh, I don't know, I don't do emotions, or I don't want to go there, or like I don't know how to. No, that's because your emotions doesn't depend on your gender. You're going to have them or not. So feeling gratitude, I think, is a great start to actually, build the base when you can sit with yourself, when you can spend some time with yourself, and stop avoiding yourself. Because when you do spend some time, then your mind, and when you're, redirecting your mind of thinking of a gratitude, then you, it's like something happens in the brain, and you start to think, like, you have an inner conversation with yourself, like honest conversation with what you want, what are your desires, where are you, what would you like to do, accomplish, experience, all this. When you kind of slow down, then you can really hear yourself. It's like a whisper. But when you're busy and when you're avoiding yourself, it's very hard to actually hear that. You can't catch it. The only how you can catch that whisper of your soul is when you sit with yourself. Find a little bit of gratitude. And I said, it doesn't have to be a big, massive thing. It could be like like a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. That's plenty. That's amazing. Another few steps what you could do, and how you could start loving yourself, how to start the process of love, because this is a process. It's not like one day and that's it, you're done. It's a process. It's like you will have to teach yourself how to set up the mindset of, I'm worthy, I'm good enough, I like spend my time with myself. Hi Thomas, hi. So, it's like you're going to teach yourself how to treat yourself like you are your own best friend. So how would you treat yourself? Like, if you were your own best friend, how would you treat yourself? Of course, you'll be kind. You would be very supportive. You wouldn't judge yourself, criticize yourself, or compare yourself. Because let's say if your friend would have a bad day, you wouldn't tell him, oh my God, get over yourself, like move on. You would listen. You would listen, and you would sit with that emotions that your friend would experience. So stop avoiding, again, yourself. Sit with yourself and really ask yourself, okay, I'm feeling this bad. How can I support myself when I feel like this? So rather than running away from that emotion, you're really sitting with that. And emotion, let's not forget, it's never going to be the same, and it's never going to stay for a long time. Because emotion is a feeling that it's emotion, so it's in motion, so it's moving. When you allow your feelings to, to flow through you, it will go away. So even now you might feel uncomfortable, you might feel unhappy, you might feel, even if you feel sad, allow yourself to feel sad. What's wrong with that? So it's just sit with yourself. So treat yourself like you are your own best friend, and no judging, no comparing, and no criticizing. Okay, you're being kind, you're teaching yourself how to be kind and how to treat yourself like you are your own best friend. On top of that, learn and teach yourself how to accept yourself. So what I mean by this, like, acceptance is something that is very close to unconditional love. So you're going to accept yourself no matter what. And on top of that, when you are practicing self-acceptance, I have the mantra, so I'm sitting with myself. Great way to actually practice self-kind and support. So yeah, that's great idea now. Now you can actually, it's like your body now has forced you to actually sit with yourself and owning yourself and taking care of yourself. So that's actually a good example when you don't have to rely on other people. You can actually allow yourself to rely on yourself. So rather than like, oh my god, I need help, now I'm by myself, I would, if I would have this person, I would have that person that would help me. No, you actually coming back to yourself and saying, you know what, this is what I have myself, that this is plenty, I can look after myself, and I will. Do you see the change of the mindset? Like, when you're practicing self-love and self-acceptance, you're not creating separateness between who you are and what you need out there. Like, all what you need, you already have, and that's you. So, with self-acceptance, practice wholeness, because that's what it is. Like, when you're practicing self-acceptance, you're really practicing wholeness. Like, you're one, basically. You're one. There's no like, this is who I am and there's something out there I need. No, like, it's all here. It's all within you. All what you need, you already have. What else do I have here? Oh yeah, prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself. This is probably one of the most things that most people will have an issue with. Because all your childhood, you have been probably hearing that, oh, you can't be selfish, sharing is caring, and all that stuff. So, and now you have someone actually suggesting that you will actually prioritize yourself. It's like, what? This is crazy. That's a crazy concept. No, this is really, really important. If you want to have a good, healthy relationship with yourself, and if you really want to feel important, this is how you do it. You got to prioritize yourself. And, and it could be something like, let's say you already have a plan of, like, you have been working all day, and then in the evening you would like to spend some time by yourself and maybe have a nice movie and under the blanket. I don't know, I'm just, imagining it. But then your friend or someone else is calling you and tells you that they need you to give them a lift. But this is not exactly what you wanted. Or maybe you had a different plan. Maybe you had a plan like of going for a shopping, and now this person is kind of holding you, distracting you from your own plans and wants you to change the plans. When you prioritize yourself, you're saying no. You're setting boundaries of, you know what, I actually had a plan, it doesn't suit me, I can't do this. Prioritize, another example when you could prioritize yourself, is like when you're going out for a dinner with your friends. Don't be afraid to tell what you actually want. Where do you would like to go, or like, what would you like to have to eat? Like, don't allow people to decide for you. Allow yourself to make that decision for yourself. Allow yourself to have an opinion on something. Allow yourself to share that, to say no to people when you can, if you feel that you actually would more benefit if you'd say no. Don't feel like you need to please other people, because when we pleasing people, we are going into the kind of vicious cycle of, okay, if I'm going so much out of my line to actually help them and give them whatever they need, you are creating an expectation that I'm going to receive that back. But the truth is that you're never going to receive it back. So pleasing people, and then at the same time when you expect that you're going to get it back, you're only making yourself feel, number one, smaller, but also you're making yourself feel disappointed all the time. Because how much you go out and help people and be there for people, and the minute you start to expect that to get it back, it's not going to work like that. People will only take because you're allowing them to take. Why would they feel like they owe you something? It doesn't work like that. But if you put healthy boundaries of like, no, we don't go there, or no, this is too much, or no, you don't, this is not how you speak to me, this is not how you treat me. No. When you start to respect your own self, other people will be like, oh, okay, that's a new rule, but okay, that's fine. And people who are really truly your friends, they will respect that. Some people who, might walk away, and that's fine as well. But it's the prioritizing yourself, respecting yourself. It's really the core of self-love. And, another thing that we could attach to that is, when you actually feel like you have put people on a pedestal, when you feel like other people or other things even are better than yourself. And that is again contradicting to self-love, self-acceptance. Because if you would really truly accept yourself, you would see other people and you equally on the same level. No one above me and no one below me. We're on the same level. So it means I'm as important as everybody else. When you feel like, let's say, this is very clear in like a work settings, when you have your boss, your manager, and let's say there is you, like you have those people on the pedestal because, oh my god, this is a manager, I can't speak to her or I can't speak to him because he's so high up. Think about it. That manager is still a human being. He or she breathes the same air. He or she has her own problems. Why would she be above you? Yes, her role is maybe to assign different jobs to other people, but at the she's managing the jobs, not people as such. You're an adult. You can manage yourself. If you know what to do, you know what to do. So having someone above, or I can't, have a normal conversation with a manager because he is a manager, you're allowing yourself to slip back and think of, I'm less important. And you don't have to feel like this. You don't have to feel like that. And you are in charge, actually. You are in charge of that. And I think this is now, this is actually bringing us to my next point, where this is something I don't think I have talked about before. It's our psychological masks. We all have them. Whether you like it or not, we all have our masks, our persona. And there are different masks at the same time. It's like we juggle them and we change them. We are changing them all of the time without even noticing when we are changing the masks. And I will have a task for you to do after this live, because I would like you actually to draw your masks. And you can draw as many as you want. And the way you kind of see them, there's no right or wrong way to do it. You just kind of sit with yourself and you just sit and think of the mask that you actually might be aware of it or you think is there. And give it a color. Like, maybe there is no color. Maybe there are masks, like there are no colors. So just draw it the way you want it. And then journal about it. What you have noticed. Is there any similarities? And then, who are you and how do you feel if that mask wouldn't be there? How would you feel if that mask was off? And you have different masks. You have masks with your friends, you have masks with your families, you have masks with strangers. There's a work mask. There is maybe mask with, maybe your siblings. You change. Like, it's based on how we feel in the environment. School, let's say, if they're, college, school, different masks. and it's based on what, number one, what you think is expected from you, okay? And then it's how comfortable you are to show them your true self. But sometimes the masks are so thick and we have them, so many of them, that we are somehow creating this disconnection from ourselves. So the mask is growing and there is so little. Then when the more masks, really, the less of the self. And don't take me wrong, it's how much really you feel comfortable with yourself, because based on your your childhood experience, not every situation could be safe. Maybe when the idea of having the mask off in certain situations could be so much of a trigger for you that your inner child will be screaming like, oh my God, what is she talking about? This is not safe. I would never be able to do it. Stay with that, because that's a huge message from yourself. Because number one, we all have triggers. And number two, we all had some childhood experience when our inner child could be very much triggered by different situations. And this is how we actually developed the masks. They're very old. They're as old as you and as me, and they are there with you from get-go. Really, we need them. We need to have them. But it's how you use it. That's what really is important, because they can be used to your advantage and they can really be helpful. But if they're stopping you from connecting with yourself, if they're stopping you from knowing who you really are, then they need to go. Or somehow you need to take out the mask and sit with yourself, who you really are. You need to sit with the self, not with the masks. So drawing your masks, it would be all of a sudden, the whole concept of having masks, it's going to be actually very real for you. It's going to be very real experience, because you will be able to see them. You won't be only thinking about them. You won't be only kind of feeling them. There'll be more. There'll be other senses that will be activating when when you're going to draw it. So all of a sudden, you will be able to see it, touch it. You'll be able to hold it. So they will be very much real. And when you see those masks, and you'll be able then to see it more, how to change them if they need to be changed. Who are you without them? Because that also will help you to know who you are. And once you know who you are, it will be so much easier then for you as well to actually love yourself and accept yourself. Because we having this, we think of ourselves we are creating this image of ourselves based on our experience. But some of that experience you could let go. Some of that experience is in the past. It means you could take the lesson from it, but also that doesn't mean it defines you anyhow. So there's a little bit of self-forgiveness and letting go as well with self-love. You need to let go of the past and let it be there. Don't drag it in and hold tight and with your thoughts dwell on the mistakes that you did, and all of this will hold you back and will drag you back to the past. When you think of the future, start creating your future from the scratch, from the clear. So turn the page and start writing a new you, But this is how you can do it, is sitting with yourself, spending some time with yourself, and owning yourself, feeling a little bit of gratitude. Get to know yourself, get to know the self. Take out the mask and like, who am I really? Who do I really want to be? Like, if you would have the mindset of everything is possible for me, who would I be? How would I treat myself? How would I feel with myself? Do you see the shift? Do you see how different it could be? This is all up to you. You are in charge of the life, you are in charge of yourself, and you can change it. I'm not saying this process will be somehow easy. It won't be easy, but it definitely will be worth it. Because if you have a not healthy self-concept, or if you have not healthy relationship with yourself, to change that, of course it's possible. Of course it's possible, but it will take some time. It will take some time, and it will take like a repetition, like of repeating the same thoughts, the same behaviors. Like, you're really going to put some work into yourself for your mindset to kind of change over and to be happy with yourself, to be happy and be in love with yourself. I think I always look at life like a journey. And if you could just now imagine yourself as 90-year-old man or 90-year-old woman, and thinking about the 90-year-old you, make sure when you are the 90-year-old you can look back at your life and think, geez, that was some ride. That was some journey, So whatever you do with your life, make sure the 90-year-old you will be proud of yourself. Make sure the 90-year-old you will be happy with what you have experienced and how you have created the life for the 90-year-old. Because you're creating memories. You are creating memories.